Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, host of a Totally Turtle sports and gaming YouTube channel, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
I'm here for Peter.
I'm surrounded by that tonight, kids. Normie
Osborne could never.
All right, kids. You already know it's going to be a wild one. Welcome back to the Ultimate Spider-Cast. I am Phil. Joining me as always, 3 weeks out of the year, it is
Lilith Thwipping Hellfire.
And we have a special guest who demanded to be on this episode when we covered this. Our good friend Justin, the Owl.
Hoot hoot! Hoot hoot!
Who you'll be hearing a lot more of. You'll be hearing a lot more of on this feed in 2023.
Oh yes, a lot more.
Marvel.
I love that I can leave you in well-supervised hands, Philip.
No, you just love
not like Ray.
You just love he'll do the 90s stuff that you don't want to touch. That's what you love.
Ray and Dave, not so much. I'm like, well, that's the babysitter you pay $20 and just hope for the best.
Hope you don't get a phone call at midnight.
Exactly. Justin's the one that all the moms want. They're like, yes, he's so responsible and reliable. booked for a year in advance.
Yeah, you don't want this for a babysitter.
Put the balls down the gob.
Yeah, you don't want that.
The hard master.
Hard master. That's on the mind.
All right, let's focus on this Spider-Man.
The spider babies.
All right, so yes, kids.
A rose by any other name.
A villain by any other name.
Who could it be? That's right, kids. We are covering The Name of the Rose from Web of Spider-Man 84 through 89 from 1992. Around the same time as Daredevil 300, if you didn't get that hint. Yes.
Hey, Phil.
Yes.
The 90s weren't 10 years ago. Just friendly reminder for all us old people.
Hey, Lilith, the early 2000s weren't 10 years ago either. So.
I don't even remember the early 2000s. Those are my college years. What are you talking about?
It's all a blur.
She was on an intravenous feed all through the 2000s.
Maybe a little alien abduction, too.
Maybe that's why I relate to Venom so much. I don't know.
Whose brain are you eating?
Don't worry about it, Phil.
Well. All right, should we jump right into these? Because, again, 6 issues, and there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, is this the start of writing for the trades at Marvel? I feel like this might have been.
I don't think this was ever collected, was it?
I know, but it just feels like it got drawn out about 2 issues too long.
Yeah, I could see that, but it's not even on the Marvel Unlimited app, so I can pretty much guarantee you it hasn't been collected. So
back then, they were obsessed though with doing these 6-part stories.
They were. I blame Todd McFarlane.
Summer, I think it was every summer, wasn't it? They did, and for a while they were bi-weekly. They do 2, or I think if I remember right, yeah, they were doing two issues a month. I don't think this was one of those, but yeah, they loved those 6-part stories for a while.
Well, again, I mean, just from talking to Chichester, Lilith, it's like, you had to have a gimmick to like promote books around this time. It's like, you had to have a big fancy event in your own book or crossover with somebody else's book or.
Yeah.
The Rose, okay.
I was I mean, we covered Spider-Man 6 and 7 last time. I'm surprised Ghost Rider didn't show up this time too. I mean, some of his the
Punisher, Wolverine, somebody.
I know, but some of Ghost Rider's Z-list villain showed up in the second part. I'm surprised he didn't make a quick cameo or something.
They said no.
Yeah, right. Oh, this Ghost Rider off. They meant the Spider.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. It goes like, oh, the rose? No.
Because I don't know, this was written by Howard Mackey, so I was like, I don't know.
I think he had just appeared in this before that, because they talk about him and Blaze and Spider-Man teaming up.
Well, they did. That was in the Ghost Rider book. No, they're going to appear in Web around issue 95, which we'll be covering next week. Oh yeah, we said that's the ultimate 90s cash grab. It's like Ghost Rider, Blaze,
Spirits
and Venom.
of Venom. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spirits of Venom.
There's a drop. Look at him trying to grade his own drops.
It's what we do here, Phil.
I know.
You should take advantage more often, Phil.
Where were you?
I'm trying to make it easy for you.
Slow down. We need this for drops.
Would you like your own customizable drops, kids? Well, join the Patreon Elite, just like
That's
God.
right. Join the Patreon Elite and you get all the perks. You get your own drops.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Like that classic one.
Oh, Lilith demands that every episode now. It's like,
Ew.
the drop, you perv.
My favorite biscuit.
All right.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Come on, Phil, start the show.
Okay, Charlie. All right. Web of Spider-Man 84 from January 1992. Oh, God. Family Ties. They're about 10
The
years
ties that
old.
bind indeed. Just ask Uncle Ben, a.k.a. Mephisto.
Oh!
Yeesh.
All right. Yes. Writer Howard Mackey. Penciler, one of Ray's favorites, Alex Saviuk,
Saviuk.
as Ray pronounces it. Inker Keith Williams, colorist Bob Sharon, letterer Joe Rosen, and editor Danny Fingeroth.
Don't get fingered.
Oh, I didn't see that coming. I thought you were going to be like, what you got for old Danny?
I feel like him and Kelly Puckett should work together.
Exactly.
Oh.
This guy gets it.
Exactly.
Ooh, that sure was close. I didn't get manhandled.
It's only the first issue, Phil. It's plenty of manhandle in these issues to come.
I know.
Don't get fingered.
There we go.
I had to search through your many drops there. All right. Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of crime, tells his son to come in while he finishes his training session. As Richard watches his father, he thinks about how he has always been a pawn. Although he has tried to take down his father's criminal empire, he now finds himself working for the kingpin. Nepotism. The kingpin tells his son to watch the battle as he fights off a group of men armed with swords, telling his son that he has always prepared himself for any threats and surviving. To illustrate this point, he snaps the neck of one of his sparring partners.
Hey, nobody can know his secret. It's fine.
So what that size of that diaper is? Okay.
It's a big secret.
So yeah, he snaps the neck of one of his sparring partners.
Choke that chicken.
He is pleased to hear that his son is continuing his martial arts training and suggests that he put some meat on his bones, telling Richard that he doesn't want people laughing at the heir to his criminal empire.
He wants him walking around looking like he's getting ready to fight in bantamweight class. Like, what do you want? Got him looking like Jake Paul? Like, come on, man.
Literally wants him to follow in his footsteps.
Well, by mid part 3 of this, he starts looking like he's on the Donald Trump diet.
All McDonald's all the time?
Yeah, this dude's eating 3 Big Macs a day.
I'm going to need that as a drop, Phil.
There's good fast food on all sides.
Yeah, but 3 a day? Come on.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I work there. I know. Meanwhile, put myself through high school. Meanwhile, on the Upper West Side of the city, Spider-Man is trying to talk a man out of harming a little girl coming home from a school field trip. As it turns out, this man snapped when the girl and the other school children laughed at him.
Talk about frail male fragility. Jeez.
Yeah, that's taking it to a new level.
Children are evil. We heard it on Fox News.
Well, I mean, most kids. Not the kids I know, but most kids. I'll be real with you.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you better not let Luca hear you talking about him, Lilith. He'll be sleeping in the same house as him.
I know, Luke is an absolute doll, but kids around here, these Florida kids, I'm pretty sure they're possessed
Oh.
by swamp
Yeah, no.
demons. I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The knife-wielding maniac, I'm gonna narrow that down in New York, is even more upset when Spider-Man quips make him feel stupid. Seeing that things are only going to seeing as though things are going to escalate,
Well, that escalated quickly.
Spider-Man takes a risk and saves the girl with a web line and easily trounces his attacker.
You got to protect the back of the head. Hey,
That's right.
Oh, whoa! All right, shut up, Lilith. Now you know I gotta play it. Okay.
oh.
Trying to donkey punch me now, bitch.
I was only talking about Gwen Stacy.
Oh. I stand by my drop.
Norman.
Hobgoblin month in full swing, kids. All right, I was gonna say Hobgoblin Historia, if you will.
No, I invented that, you dick.
Nobody told Russell.
Running late for his evening plans, Spider-Man webs up the maniac and leaves him strung from a basketball hoop for the police. Spider-Man prides himself in being able to handle the situation without hurting the crook, thinking that there are too many heroes like Ghost Rider and the Punisher who push things too far.
Burn. We're gonna get no. They don't have an Uncle Ben, Peter. We're sorry. We can't all be burdened by big old heads of pity and self-loathing. Okay.
Yeah, and all this responsibility talk. Who needs it?
He's
Exactly.
spreading out the foreshadowing. Shh.
Painting it on thick, more like it, but okay.
Setting it down like a blanket at a picnic, man. You're gonna feast on that foreshadowing. Come on. When Spider-Man returns,
Smorgasbord of foreshadowing.
nice. Yeah. We're gonna gorge ourselves on foreshadowing. When Spider-Man returns to his Soho apartment, his wife Mary Jane reminds him that they are having dinner at his Aunt May's house and they are running late. An hour later, on the Lower East Side, Nick Katzenberg.
Katzenberg.
Just like in real life. Shout out to all my Disney kids.
Pays off an informant on a news tip. When the informant mentions how sorry he was to see that Katzenberg was scooped on his last one, Nick has no idea what he's talking about. That's when Katzenberg looks at the most recent edition of the Daily Bugle and becomes furious and storms off, swearing he's going to kill somebody.
Spider Slayer? No, wait, never mind. That's something else.
At the Fisk building, Richard Fisk secures a line to make a call out to one of his associates. He asks his ally if he has seen the potentially damaging story in the Daily Bugle. Fisk's associate assures him that he is in the process of handling the situation. Meanwhile, in Queens, Peter and Mary Jane arrive for dinner with his Aunt May, her boyfriend Willie Lumpkin.
Oh,
Poor Willie Lumpkin.
Hey, he's the only Aunt May boyfriend who's gotten out alive so far.
That's because he's immortal, but that's a whole nother.
Well, he's a fantastic worker.
Yeah, isn't he one of the Watchers or something?
Allegedly.
And Mary Jane's cousin Christy. Cue the eye roll.
Boo! Get her out of there! What a cousin Oliver, if I ever saw one, man.
Speaking of children, Lilith has no time for.
A teenager, if you will.
Oh, Miss Ginger Snap herself.
Yeah.
Whoa! Oh Lord, the literal redheaded stepchild. Hello.
Yeah.
That's true. She is a literal redhead stepchild. I love it.
With the table being set, Peter tries to sit down and go through the Sunday edition of the Daily Bugle, but is scolded by his wife, Mary Jane reminds him that it is his turn to carve the turkey. What is this, Thanksgiving? They're having a freaking turkey?
Wow.
For what? Everybody at that table's throwing it up.
Wow! Well, not Peter. He's burning calories.
Either way.
Everyone else, yeah.
Christy's like, can I have extra cranberry sauce?
Whoa. The model and her cousin are throwing it up. Yes, I agree with you, though. It's really just a random Sunday is the time for turkey, man. I'm like,
It might have been on sale, to be fair.
Oh,
you know how old people love their freaking coupons, so it might have,
Yeah, but you know what's on sale.
Sausage.
Oh my god! Except for I'm very devastated about this. Like Bob Evans doesn't have their sage sausage, which is what we use for the stuffing. I cannot find it anywhere in Florida. I'm very upset. I'm not gonna be able to make my usual stuffing. Heyo, for for Thanksgiving. I'm very annoyed that either they recalled it or they just don't sell anymore. I'm very annoyed.
What are you, 70? You're going to Bob Evans?
No, it's the Bob Evans sausage that you get in like Walmart, Target, whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's the
fine.
sage flavor specifically. It makes amazing stuffing, especially if you're going to actually put it in the turkey and not do it on the stovetop.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Sorry, just annoyed.
Thanksgiving.
Annoyed again by sausage. Imagine that.
Damn you, sausage!
I was just waiting to hear Lilith or Justin give her the amen.
Sausage strikes again.
Sorry, continue. It is Hobgoblin Gobble month, so it's only fitting.
That's
true.
true. Turkey. I mean, it works.
Lots
for
of talk of stuffing this month.
yes. Hobgobble gobble month, kids.
Gobble gobble.
While in a special police holding cell, the Hobgoblin screams in agony as he shifts from his demonic form back to human form. The process is pure torture, and he cries out to know why the Lord has forsaken him.
Because he deserves it.
Why did you forsake me, God? I only killed a bunch of people when I was a mercenary.
Yeah. They
It's like,
deserved
wait,
it.
why is the environment so orange and hot?
I love how he's in his costume in the jail cell, too. They didn't bother to take that off him. They're like, it stinks. Leave it on.
Do you want to strip a half demon? I know I don't.
Yeah, no.
Been there, done that. It's not too pleasant.
Wow!
There's a lot of work involved there.
Oh my, Lilith. I know you have a colorful dating life, but damn. Hold on.
I was talking about drunk me.
Lubricated eels are the best.
Yeah, we recently did a issue. We covered an issue about the
Daredevil with
eel.
the eel, yes.
Oh, the eel, yeah.
For that. I wonder if my wrist is ready for that. Why I oughta.
The guards watch this, noting that these transformations are occurring more and more frequently. Back at Peter and Mary Jane's loft, or wait a minute, it says Peter and Mary Jane's loft. They're at Aunt May's house. Oh no, it is at the loft. Never mind. A group of men have ransacked.
That's where they went to go get their free meal.
Whoa, hell. No, they're ransacking the place looking for something. Probably nudes of Mary Jane, but
Yeah. The secret role.
That's Bruce in the Ferrari. He has those. It's not fair, you silly goose.
you can't mention Bruce. Well, come on.
Batman, my favorite character.
They didn't find what they were looking for, but one of the men has found something even better and goes to use the phone and inform their employer that they got what they came for. However, the man in charge is quickly ordered on the line, and after some brief instruction, shoots his minion in the head. Punishment.
What is this? Batman Begins?
I thought you were saying, what is this, Full Hellfire? Punishment for making a call on an unsecure line. Oh, you don't want an Uber and an Egg McMuffin in the morning?
Brunch? You think you're brunch material? Get the hell out of here.
A second day to the F do you think you are? While back at Aunt May's, Peter is asked to put out the garbage. Shut up, Will. Not having
Christy, jump in and don't.
I knew it. Not having had a chance to look at the paper, he asks Willie to keep his wife from hiding it. As he goes outside, Peter's spider sense begins to go off. Yes, that random. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So
It's psychosomatic, Phil.
I know.
Sometimes he needs a pill for it.
Whoa!
It's wienering time.
Sometimes you just got to get that post nut clarity, and it's relatable.
I don't think anyone in this room will disagree with you,
No.
including yourself,
No, we
Will
won't.
Hellfire.
Exactly.
All right, Peter's spider sense begins going off.
It's ting ting tingling, ting ting tingling.
Looking around, he sees a man approaching the house. When the strange man pulls out a gun, Peter slips out into the shadows and changes into Spider-Man and climbs up to the roof of the house. Guns.
Janie's got a gun.
Don't pull it out unless you're going to use it. That's true for guns and penises.
Listen, that is the best life advice I can give anyone, okay?
Thinking that these men are looking for Spider-Man, Peter becomes upset that his career as Spider-Man is once more threatening the lives of his loved ones. When the men get to the door, they knock and ask to see Peter Parker, claiming that they are officers of the NYPD. When Mary Jane insists on calling the police to verify their claims, the men pull out their guns and demand that Mary Jane turn over her husband. That's when Spider-Man webs up their guns and leaps down from the roof. As the bullets begin to fly, the wall crawler tells Mary Jane and Aunt May to get back inside.
So close. We could have just ended Aunt May right freaking there.
Yeah,
They didn't have the
let's-
balls to do it.
Yep. They
We
had
could have
a
kept the
perfect
marriage, but
opportunity.
no.
I mean, J.M. DeMatteis did a beautiful story at Amazing 400.
Exactly.
And walk that back.
Yep.
So he could sell his marriage years later to save that ancient mummy. As Spider-Man begins fighting off the gunmen, more arrive on the scene, including a group in a helicopter armed with automatic weapons.
Was it a moon chopper? I feel like it was a moon
Ooh,
chopper.
It's kind of, yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe Spider-Man. Peter has an association with Spider-Man, but doesn't this seem like overkill for one newspaper?
It's Queens, to be fair.
True.
So,
Oh, what he thought he had.
I mean, it's not quite Long Island, but it is still Queens. So,
Thought
I
Aunt May-
get the precaution.
thought Aunt May had an arsenal in the basement or
I
something.
mean, Aunt May had a thing with Dr. Octopus. They don't know if he's got his weapon still there. They don't know.
Hell!
Maybe they knew the truth about Willie Lumpkin.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, what they thought Otto left something there, love.
I don't think those are tentacles.
Diesel powered.
Whoa! Let's leave Lilith's closet out of this. All right. Realizing that he is dealing with professionals, the web slinger decides to find out who sent these people. Swinging up into the helicopter, the hero knocks out the gunman and then begins questioning the pilot. However, the pilot refuses to talk, so Spider-Man forces him to land and knocks them all out. Quickly swinging to the back of the house, Spider-Man changes out of his costume. Mary Jane tells her husband that the gunmen were not looking for Spider-Man, but Peter Parker. When Peter wonders why, he finally takes a look at the Daily Bugle. In it, he finds an advertisement for a photo essay that claims it will blow the lid off the criminal underworld. Looking at the photo credit, Peter is shocked to see his name there, as he did not take the photo. While outside the Daily Bugle, Nick Katzenberg is still furious, believing that Peter Parker somehow stole his photo and turned it in as his own.
Listen. I mean, I'm not saying he's like Clark Kent levels bad of journalism, but it's believable. I mean, Peter Parker is making money by lying in the same vein that Superman is.
Yeah.
It's not like he's interviewing himself or anything, but still.
But you can tell they're probably not Peter's pictures because they're not blurry and stuff.
Exactly, they're actually good, yeah.
Oh my god! But I love this whole story. It's like Peter, Nick, even Robbie. No one knows how this picture got in the newspaper. No one knows how it got there. No one knows who put it in the paper. It's
Eddie
never.
Brock did it.
I was gonna say, he's like, payback's a bitch. I mean, but at least he got a sentient tongue out of it. I mean, like,
That's
he
true.
didn't leave empty-handed.
Yeah.
Is that a sentient tongue?
I wonder if my wrist is ready for that.
He's gonna fall out of that chair. You're welcome, Noel.
Yeah, that's by the way, that is the goal for every episode.
Oh, Justin, I get you weekly in 2023. Oh, buddy.
I think it will happen. I will fall.
On his way out of the office, he's pulled aside by one of his informants and told about the failed hit on Parker. Finding this interesting, Nick pays the man to keep this between them. Back at Fisk Tower, Richard Fisk calls his ally, the Rose, and asks what happened. The Rose assures him that there was a minor setback this evening. However, regardless of this, Parker knows that there are people after him, and he will soon come to him. When Fisk asks how the Rose can be sure that Parker won't go to the police, Rose assures him that after tonight, the police aren't going to believe anything Parker says. Back at Peter's loft, there is a lot of interesting things for the police to find. Not only is there a dead body waiting, but also part of Peter's Spider-Man costume laying on the bed for anybody to see.
Dun dun dun.
Yes. Thoughts, children? But yes, of course, this takes place prior to Daredevil 300 because as our good friend Chichester had Daredevil take down the Kingpin.
Thank God. That man was a menace.
That needed to happen.
Didn't stick, but, it was a nice try.
Yeah.
I mean, at least something. It was something. Every other time, he's just like chomping on that cigar. Just like, haha, you can't touch me, Punisher, or Daredevil, or Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on this? And one before we move on to the next one?
No, it did all the heavy lifting that it needed to do, so.
It set it up.
It exactly got everything going. Moving along the track.
A little too much family, but fine. It's fine. I mean, that's kind of Peter's defining trait sometimes.
Oh, you're such a hypocrite, Miss Fast and Furious super fan.
Listen, that's different. They're pirates. Pirates are all about family, and, this is different.
Pirates are.
Well,
yeah, I agree. The whole Thanksgiving thing was weird. Yeah, I didn't get that.
Is it even Thanksgiving? It's just they had a random turkey.
Yeah.
Like I said, Aunt May had some coupons. Wanted to make a little dinner.
They were giving them out at the senior center.
Probably.
This chicken was going to spoil if I didn't bake it.
Oh, no. Willie Lumpkin was trying to impress her. He's like, hey, look at this big turkey I brought you.
Oh, yeah.
That's oh, wait. Okay. All right, look at this turkey I brought you.
Look how big it is. It's a lot of meat.
For some reason, we can't talk about meat without invoking Ray. So,
Sausage.
He's the king of sausage, and nobody beats the king.
That's right.
I'm the king. All right, so let's get to part 2, Web of Spider-Man 85 from February 1992. 3 the hard way.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, that sounds like something from my hard drive.
Yes, exactly. Your hard drive, Lilith.
I think it's a cowboy. I think it's cowboy themed. Yeah.
Whoa. How do I put this? Was it a shootout?
Let's just say it was a standoff at OK Corral.
And the school marm won and lost. All right. The Kingpin is in a sparring session with his son Richard.
He likes beating his children. It's like his middle name's Alfred or something.
Yeah.
No, first it was the hired help. Now it's his son.
He likes dressing up in a diaper and beating his kids.
That's a lot of issues to work out.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
As Fisk grabs his son by the throat, he insists that his son be strong and fight back. And much to his surprise, Richard is able to break free from his hold and flip the Kingpin over. However, the Kingpin takes advantage of his son's overconfidence and easily overpowers him, explaining that he needs to hone his killer instinct.
Ooh, careful now.
I know you're grooming your own killer, Fisk. Come on.
Exactly.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Peter and Mary Jane return home to find that someone has turned their apartment upside down. Checking their bedroom, Peter is horrified to find not only a dead body, but part of his Spider-Man costume and his web shooters. Peter worries about who might have found out his secret identity. After hiding his costume, Peter calls the police and they quickly arrive on the scene. The officer in charge is Sergeant Bloom, remember that, who insists that the Parkers come down to the station to answer some questions. Peter's not surprised, especially after the attack on his Aunt May's home earlier that evening. That's when Nick Katzenberg comes barging in to take a photo. His off-color comment angers Peter, and Sergeant Bloom orders his officers to get Katzenberg out of the apartment. As Peter is asked to come along to the station, Mary Jane notices how on edge her husband is. Later at a warehouse in Brooklyn, Richard Fisk gets the drop on the Rose with a silenced pistol. However, the Rose is prepared for just such an ambush, and at the snap of a finger, Richard is surrounded by a gang of gunmen. However, this was merely a test of the Rose's security. Richard is working in league with the Rose to bring down the Kingpin and his empire. However, the situation has been complicated thanks to the photos that they think were taken by Peter Parker that might compromise their plans. And again, while at the Tombs prison, Jason Macendale undergoes another
Macendale!
Daddy Macendale.
reversion back to human form, or as close as Macendale gets.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. Yeah. He curses the demon Nastra for cursing him with these demonic powers. See Inferno, kids.
Or don't.
We scroll. Well, we covered it. Scroll the Spider-Man stuff at least. Scroll down.
Yes.
At first, he it says revealed, but I think they mean reveled. At first, he reveled in his powers until his recent encounter with Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Blaze that these painful transformations back and forth between his demonic and human forms had begun. The Hobgoblin's thoughts are interrupted when a police officer comes to deliver a present to him. Opening up the drop box, the Hobgoblin finds a white box. Opening it up, Macendale finds a single rose inside. The following morning, Peter and Mary Jane are leaving a police station. Peter is furious with the amount of time he has spent in a police station. They are unaware that they are being watched by Nick Katzenberg, who has decided to follow Parker around to get some photos in the off chance that he is murdered by mobsters. When Peter Parker tries to hail a taxi cab, one speeds by. Suddenly, once again, his spider sense goes off.
It's ting ting ting-a-lid, ting ting ting-a-lid.
Warning him that
And this is why men can't have intuition. I'm just saying. This is a perfect example.
It's problematic.
What are you saying, Lilith? That thing just goes off all the time for no reason?
Unprovoked.
Yep.
Yep. Warning him that they're being followed. Tired of the threats imposed on his family, Peter pulls Mary Jane into a nearby alley to try and get away. There they are confronted by the assassins known as the Triad Brothers.
The Try Hard Bros? What now?
Wow! Waving their phallic objects at them.
Yeah, all three of them.
They're just lucky they're not in Gotham.
Whoa! When they threaten Mary Jane, Peter has to act quickly. In order to maintain his secret identity, he ducks an attack from two of the triads and rolls into a basement window of the building next to them. Katzenberg comes in closer to try and get his money shot. Hail. That's when Spider-Man arrives on the scene and forces the triad to flee. They part with a blast at a nearby building, causing debris to begin falling on Mary Jane. Spider-Man leaps in and pushes her out of the way. That's when Nick Katzenberg appears with his camera, taking photos. When Nick calls Peter a coward, Mary Jane strikes him. Having had enough with the police, Spider-Man swings away with Mary Jane, intending to handle things himself. What else is... I love when Mary Jane decks Katzenberg.
Yeah.
I love when Mary Jane gets to deck anybody.
I know, man. Remember when she attacked the chameleon with a baseball bat?
Yes. Oh, I love it.
Or when she hit the Spider Slayer with a baseball bat. That's what
now,
I knew.
Kids, remember, if you're driving around with a baseball bat in your car, please have a glove.
Yes.
Alibi.
Exactly. Plausible deniability.
Yep. Definitely helps.
They go to Queens, where Peter insists that Mary Jane take Aunt May to a friend's house until it is safe. May is upset, not just because of the danger, but also because the bullets damaged a photo of her late husband, Ben.
Oh my God, shut up about that, man. It's been like 1,000 years.
How many
times has that frame been broken? At least half a dozen. Like,
it's being held together by web fluid, right?
Well, she did have a teenage boy in the house at one point, so. But yeah, I get your point about Uncle Ben, Lilith. I'm like, how many boyfriends has she had and killed already?
Exactly.
Yeah, Black Widow.
Except for Otto and Willie Lumpkin.
Yeah, they're the only two that made it.
I swear, Willie Lumpkin went into witness protection for years after that.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't see him for years after that.
He just needed to recover. Aunt May's still pretty feisty. It's okay.
Whoa! Oh, are you going out on a limb? Are you going out on a limb here, describing Aunt May?
Superior puss.
I mean, if it's the Marissa Tomei version, I mean,
Oh yes,
Yes,
yes.
absolutely. Yeah, there's no dust forming anywhere on her.
Whoa! All of us and George Costanza agree. Yes, the Marissa Tomei. Yes. Peter assures Aunt May he'll take care of everything. With his family out of harm's way, Peter changes into Spider-Man and begins attacking mobsters all over the city. That a boy to learn why his
That's
family
right.
is targeted. When the news reaches Richard Fisk, he is furious that Spider-Man has become involved and calls the Rose to tell him to handle the problem. Although, idiot, you knew Spider-Man had to get involved. The guy had a whole photo book of pictures he sold of Spider-Man pictures. Come on.
and a Christmas album.
Although Spider-Man is yet to get straight answers, he manages to locate the Triad brothers and ambushes them at their hideout. He easily disarms the assassins and demands to know why they had targeted Peter Parker. However, they explained that they were operating on a freelance basis as there is a lot of money out for Parker's head. However, they are not entirely sure who the man responsible for the hit is. The best they could come up with is someone named the Gardener.
I love it.
Furious, Spider-Man cuts one of the brothers' faces with his own sword. Catching himself, Spider-Man wonders just how far he's willing to go to protect his family and decides it is best to leave before he does something he will regret.
Yeah, that boy's got a temper. I've always said it. He's got a temper.
There's the payoff on that foreshadowing. As the wall crawler flees, the Triad brothers attempt to go after him. Before they can, a limo pulls up, blocking their way. Inside the limos, their employer, Death Watch.
Get it?
That's why I thought Ghost Rider was going to show up.
Yeah.
Which was probably the point. They're like, hey, look,
Yeah.
Death Watch, maybe you should buy the next 4 parts. Ghost Rider may show up.
Yeah, he might show up in one of them.
Who is not happy to see what his hired men have done. While in Brooklyn, Richard Fisk pays another visit to the Rose. Neither men know why Spider-Man is protecting Parker. Regardless of the reasons, Fisk orders the Rose to eliminate the wall crawler. Thoughts?
More Peter beating up people.
Yeah, I always like it when he goes to Crazy Town. It's always fun.
Yes. He's the mayor.
Yeah, it's the best. And it's always a one-way trip. Like, he doesn't come back from it for a while.
Exactly. All right, here it is, Justin. The Hobgoblin Lash Clash with Spider-Man, Blaze, and Ghost Rider in Ghost Rider 17.
That's what it was. Spirits of Venom.
Oh my. All right, so let's keep this crazy train rolling, kids. Let's get to the next one. There we go. Web of Spider-Man 86 from March 1992, with probably one of one of Russell's most favorite covers, because there's 2 Hobgoblins on it.
2 for the price of 1. Oh boy!
Thank you for the drop.
You're welcome.
The Dark Within.
Hey, yo.
I was waiting for another hard drive comment. All right. Richard Fisk witnesses a meeting between his father, the Kingpin, and his men. What Richard witnesses is one of the few instances where his father visibly loses his temper. Yeah, right. The Kingpin is
one of the few instances.
Yeah. It only happens on days that end in Y.
You're right. Whenever
Kingpin
there's another living, breathing human around him, it only happens then.
Wow! He's a big baby, man. He wears a diaper and he gets mad when you tell him no.
Yep.
I mean, literally, but
Seriously. The Kingpin is furious at the latest failure of one of his men and beats him within an inch of his life. When Wilson orders his son to kill the man, Richard refuses. The Kingpin crushes the man's head with his foot, warning his son that he will be unworthy to take over his empire if he doesn't develop his killer instinct. As the Kingpin exits the room, Richard can't help but think that Daredevil is starting to get at his father, particularly after the loss of Typhoid Mary, Daredevil 297.
Oh, poor F in the chat for her. She came back, but still.
I know. Oh, so not only is the Kingpin his usual moody self, but he ain't getting any either. So
exactly.
Yeah. Like we said, like Lil said, no post nut clarity, man.
You get all foggy and grouchy.
Hot, man.
Yeah, He's stomping around, breaking people's heads.
You don't want to anger a horny kingpin, no, you know?
No. No wonder the body count was so high.
Meanwhile, Spider-Man is trying to get a hold of himself after a while, after almost crossing the line and trying to find out who put a hit out on Peter Parker for a photo he didn't even take. His thoughts are interrupted by his spider sense alerting him of a mugging in progress. Without saying a single word, Spider-Man quickly incapacitates the thieves and leaves them strung up for the authorities. While at the Tombs prison, Jason Macendale undergoes yet another painful transformation between his human and demonic forms. That puberty's a bitch.
Demonic puberty, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
You're growing fangs and
You got fangs, horns, and tails. You know, this is a lot.
As he undergoes this painful transformation, some armed men gun the guards and force their way into the facility. When they arrive at the Hobgoblin cell, they tell him that they have been hired to set him free and begin setting plastic explosives on the bulletproof glass of the villain's cell. While at the Rose's hideout in Brooklyn, Richard Fisk looks over operations. He thinks about how this operation would have been his not too long ago. Smelling the roses that are growing in his hideout, see, he took time to do that, and makes Richard think back to his past, how he grew up. His mother shielded him from the criminal enterprises of his father. Even as she shipped him off to private school, Richard can see the toll his father's operations had on her health. It was during his time abroad that he met first Alfredo, then Ned Leeds.
Alfredo, you say?
Mm.
Fredo, you're breaking my heart. Hey, I think that might be our first. Might be our first Godfather reference. I don't know.
I thought someone was going to say something about him being delicious. I
can't speak to that. I don't know if he gets enough water or not. I can't speak to that.
Whoa!
I don't do Twinkies or toaster strudels, so.
Lubricated eels are the best.
That's the best when Justin hears a drop for the first time. I love it. The trio then begin working together with Fisk becoming the Rose and Leeds becoming the Hobgoblin in an effort to take down his father's criminal empire. However, things went sour when Leeds lost his mind and was later murdered by Jason Macendale, who took the role of the Hobgoblin in his place. With his scheme falling apart, Richard surrendered to his father and has fought by his side ever since. However, he vows to get revenge against his father and the Hobgoblin for Ned Leeds' death. That's when Richard's thoughts are interrupted by the arrival of the Rose, who updates Richard on the hit on Peter Parker. They are interrupted when one of the Rose's men falls through the skylight.
That's what you get for having a skylight in Marvel's New York, though, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
Through the hole in the glass comes the Hobgoblin, who has come to kill them. However, Richard suddenly rips open his shirt, revealing a hand-shaped mark on his chest. He tells the Hobgoblin he has been touched by the same entity and that they serve the same purpose.
Touched by a demon? I prefer touched by an angel with Della Reese. I'm just saying.
I was going to say they were touched by the same entity. Who? Weinstein?
Oh.
Oh.
Speaking of an environment that's hot and orange, full of flames.
Well, yeah, he is.
Pack your bags, Harvey. Oh, did you hear? They're trying him for more crimes in California now. They're shipping him out to California to try him for more stuff.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So there you go. I don't think he had a chance of getting out of jail in this lifetime before, and he ain't really getting out now.
No.
He's all like, but Cosby got out. Well, you're a little younger than Cosby, bud.
And he had a hit TV show. Wait, here we go. Fisk then tells the Hobgoblin that he released them from prison to destroy the sinner Peter Parker and his bodyguard Spider-Man. That tracks. Under the control of his demonic half, the Hobgoblin buys this explanation and agrees to eliminate the targets, saying he will return to judge their virtue upon their completion. The whole situation angers the Rose, who demands that he and Richard talk immediately. Meanwhile, at the Daily Bugle, Peter Parker learns that from Joe Robertson that a printing error resulted in Peter's name being under Nick Katzenberg's photo.
Sure.
I know.
printing error.
Peter is furious at this screw up, and Joe promises to make it good. That's when Nick Katzenberg comes in and makes a joke about keeping Peter's wife, Mary Jane, company when he eventually gets killed.
Ooh.
Losing his temper, Peter grabs Katzenberg by the collar of his shirt and drags him into a supply room. There he demands Nick tell him what he knows about the Rose and where to find him. When Katzenberg refuses to talk, Peter leans him out the window. Yeah, boy, and realizes what he's about to do. He stops himself. Why?
Exactly. It's just Katzenberg.
Yeah, let him go.
Robbie be okay with it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he'd look the other way.
Oh, please, Jonah be like, that's less money I have to spend this month. Good.
Absolutely.
He realizes Katzenberg is not worth it and leaves. On his way out, he catches a news report about the Hobgoblin being sighted in Soho and rushes there to confront his foe. There, the Hobgoblin is outside of Peter's apartment, demanding he come out and face his fate. Suddenly, the villain screams in pain as he reverts back to human form. This causes him to lose balance and fall off his glider. Thankfully...
Damn, them freaking goblins just can't hang on to a glider to save their life, literally.
Spider-Man is there to save his life. Yes, he screams in pain.
He definitely didn't have knees, I'm pretty sure.
I guess not.
You know how duck penises work, right?
Yes, kids, listen to Trapped in the World, the Howard the Duck podcast, proud member of the collective. However, the wall crawler is tired of these transformations, reminding Macendale how he originally came to Spider-Man and Moon Knight for help before turning on them. Scroll down. Hell, scroll down on this show, scroll down on Ray's show. That tale's been covered at least twice, kids.
Sounds like a plan, Jan.
Returning to his demonic form, Hobgoblin blames Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and Blaze for his current instability. Dodging his foe's attack, Spider-Man realizes that the Hobgoblin has lost his mind. When did he have one? Crashing down onto the street, the Hobgoblin begins to scream once more. Here it comes, kids.
Hell.
This time, instead of changing forms, the Hobgoblin's demonic form splits from him to become a separate entity.
Even the demon wanted to get away from him. Like, good grief.
Even the demon wanted nothing to do with Macendale.
Even the demon was like, you stink.
An error has occurred. You are not the correct host.
The demonic Hobgoblin is happy to finally be free and is about to destroy his former host. That's when Spider-Man leaps in and pulls Macendale to safety. Well, back in Brooklyn, the Rose is furious about how Richard is handling things. He points to manipulating the Hobgoblin and the strange mark on Fisk's chest. Richard pulls it off, revealing it is only makeup effects, and assures him that everything will be worth it when the Kingpin is groveling at their feet.
Devious, I love it.
Thoughts, kid? I know, it's like, oh, magic. I mean, it tracks. I mean, both Hobgoblins are stupid. Oh, look.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we didn't really get like the payoff that the cover promised us with the two Hobgoblins duking it out. Like, it didn't really happen. I was bummed about that. I was like, ooh, yeah, no. And then that reminded me of the whole Green Goblin and Hobgoblin
debacle.
That quote-unquote duel from a couple of years prior. But also, I'd like to call attention to Richard Fisk in this one, because he's looking kind of like a biscuit when he rips his shirt off. But then in the next issue, part 4, he's rocking a major double chin. So somewhere between part
he was
3
holding
and
it all
part 4,
in.
Yeah, he's breathing in. Yeah, he was holding his breath in. But yeah, we start to see the pudge happening here.
It's so weird. It seems like he gains like weight between issues. Yeah. Because he's kind of making the transformation into another version of his father. But yeah, it seems very quick.
Yeah.
You know, it goes from
my favorite biscuit
to Limp Biscuit.
That's the joke of the night. Goes from my favorite biscuit to Limp Biscuit. That's why. This is why I love you, man. Oh, son of a bitch! Why didn't I get there first? Jeez.
Hey yo.
Don't be like Wally West. Don't be the fastest man alive. That's not a good look.
See, Justin, you don't have experience with this. You let the woman get there first.
You can tell Phil's married.
And how do you think that's not good?
Well trained. My hat's off to you, Danielle.
No.
She's done well. She's done well.
I was like that before. How do you think you can see a stag a wife? You know? No woman wants no fast time Frankie. Come on.
No. No, unless she's in a hurry. Yeah, that's not it.
I'm gonna need that on a shirt, please, for her merch store.
What the
that'd make a great
Salty
t-shirt.
and Penny merch store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be a fast time, Frankie.
Slow down and enjoy life and your wife.
Give your wife something.
All right, let's get on with this. A Web of Spider-Man 87. What is this? Part 4. April 1992. The Best Defense.
What, is She-Hulk in this?
Whoa!
I mean, it seems like everybody has mommy issues, so that would kind of fix it. Just saying.
Smash indeed.
Exactly.
Richard Fisk is training against a number of another issue opens with a fight. Richard Fisk is training against a number of warriors in the Kingpin's office as part of a training session. He fights with a savagery, unwilling to surrender in order to prove his father wrong, that he does have the killer instinct to be his successor.
You know, all these warehouses that are in Marvel's New York, and we're fighting in the Kingpin's office.
I mean, I think he just it's more secure here.
Yeah, well, honestly, yeah, because he never really leaves that building, honestly. So, I guess
He likes the lingering smell of sweat in his office after they're done.
Sweat Big Macs.
Look at the size of this man. Is he walking anywhere?
He probably has those little escalators, those little people movers all throughout the buildings, like an airport.
Giant size Segway.
I mean, we all heard Russell say the Kingpin got titties, man.
He don't have titties. That boy got yitties.
Wild like an animal.
He needs a man's ear.
He needs a bro.
Bro! Too ethnic. All right, gotta hit the button. Meanwhile, Spider-Man is swinging across the city, exhausted after his ordeals with the mob hit on Peter Parker and his battle against the Hobgoblin and Demogoblin. That's when he sees someone flying by on a goblin glider. At first, he thinks it might be Harry Osborn. Oh, God. We're around that time, too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like 20 goblins flying around New York now, kids.
The Night of the Goblin. That's what they should have done, honestly.
Oh, don't give them ideas. You know what's going to be coming soon. Everybody who's ever been on a glider is going to be in one story at once. Oh, God.
I mean, if they don't do that in the Golden Glider book, what are we even doing?
Oh, the Golden Goblin.
Yeah.
Norman in his new phallic-shaped glider. Okay.
Where's Gwen?
Wow!
No more clones.
At first, he thinks that, Harry Osborn, but upon closer inspection, it turns out to be Demogoblin. Spotting the wall crawler, Demogoblin tells them that they are not enemies and that he is seeking out Jason Macendale to destroy him. As Demogoblin leaves, Spider-Man tries to tag him with a spider tracer, but misses. He has no other choice but to let Demogoblin go because he has to continue tracking down the Rose, because that's the bigger threat.
Exactly. Priorities, Pete. Priorities.
At that moment, Sergeant Bloom of the NYPD pays a visit to the Parkers' apartment in Soho and discovers that nobody is home. Looking around the apartment, he overhears...
So like a true New York cop, he's just going to invite himself in and have a little look-see.
It says here he overhears a voicemail, but no, kids.
Listen, Captain Stacy would be super disappointed, is all I'm saying. The only good cop in all of Marvel's New York.
He would be very disappointed by the end of this, yes. And it says he overhears a voicemail. Damn it, kids, this is 1992. That is a goddamn answering machine.
Yes, absolutely, with cassette tape.
Cassette and all, yes. Left by Peter's wife, Mary Jane, saying that that her and Aunt May are having a great time in the Catskills. Yeah, just announce your location. Peter knows where you're at. Come on.
The Catskills are a pretty big place to be fair.
I don't know. They get found. I don't know.
Well, that's unrealistic.
Fine. While at the Upper East Side penthouse, Richard Fisk is moving on up, spends time with his new fiancée, Rebecca. She notices the bruise on his face, but he dismisses it as just family business. Oh, God.
Also, Rebecca, when I was rereading this, I forgot about the white streak in her hair. Doesn't his mother have the same white streak in her hair?
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was. Mommy issues, like I said.
Oh,
He has mommy and daddy issues.
Yikes. Oh, that's a whole other level of yikes right there.
Oh, yeah. But she's in it for the money, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. She's like, that's okay. I'll bleach my hair. I don't care.
She gets them hard for the money.
That drop was at 55.35.
Yes, that needs to go on in the library. Yep.
The Lost Library of Drops, Justin.
That's right.
He then gets upset when Rebecca knocks over some photographs. He apologizes for his sudden outburst because they are photos of his mother, his best friend Alfredo, and Ned Leeds, the most important people in his life. When she asks what happened to them, he says,
Can we get a Richard and Ned's backstory book, maybe? I don't know. Seems like they were a little more than just friends.
Yeah, there's a definite bromance there, too, I think.
I mean, they should be. I mean, Ned Leeds is back in the current Amazing Spider-Man. They should play.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
It could be a robot. It could be a clone. It could be anything.
LMD. Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever Betty could whip up in the lab.
Oh yes, Betty Brant is behind it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wanted Betty Brant
You
to be
thought
a big villain.
she's bigger than Kendrick, bro.
Every hobgoblin. He's teetering. He's teetering.
And you thought Puma was a Puma. Hey-oh.
Puma, Jerry. Puma.
It's not a Puma.
Okay. Here we go. Let's see if I can get this out with a straight face. They are then interrupted by one of Richard's men who tells him that the package has been waiting for his arrival.
You know what drop to play.
Oh, it was just a really nice package.
He excuses himself and enters the other room where he discovers that his men have managed to track down and capture Jason Macendale, the Hobgoblin.
What, like it was hard?
Hey-oh. Macendale has shrugged off the beating he received, given all he has been through in the past year. Fisk explains that he intends to avenge the death of Ned Leeds. However, Macendale has been a mercenary for far too many years and manages to break free and get a hold of a gun. Finding themselves in a standoff, Macendale explains that he is looking at getting back into the mercenary game and is offering his services to kill Peter Parker. Flipping down the photo of Ned Leeds, Richard Fisk has decided to take him up on the offer. Meanwhile, Spider-Man continues his hunt for the Rose, but doesn't find any leads until he's told the location of the Rose's Brooklyn hideout by an underworld stoolie named Twitch. As it turns out, Twitch was being paid by Nick Katzenberg to provide this information to the wall crawler. Or was it Katzenberg? I thought, after Katzenberg is gone. Oh, yeah, no. After Katzenberg is gone, Twitch hears someone moving around nearby. He is soon ambushed by someone who kills Twitch for talking to the wrong people. Guess he's twitching now.
Twitching for the last time.
Twitches end up in ditches, you know?
While in Brooklyn, the Rose informs Richard Fisk that his father, the Kingpin, is going down, and that they have no longer need to eliminate Peter Parker. However, Richard refuses to change his plans until he says so, reminding the Rose that he created him. The pair come to blows and their men prepare to engage in gunfire. However, Richard orders everyone to stand down, reminding them that they are all friends. He then asks the Rose to wait and humor him for what happens. Sure enough, Spider-Man arrives shortly thereafter, much to the horror of the Rose. However, there are armed warriors that ambush him with various high-tech weapons. To make matters worse, Spider-Man spots a homeless woman and her child caught in the middle of the crossfire. Meanwhile, the Rose is demanding that this madness end immediately. Suddenly, the Hobgoblin comes crashing through the skylight. Richard is disappointed that the Rose won't fall in line and considers their partnership over. With that said, the Hobgoblin picks up Fisk and carries him away. Meanwhile, Spider-Man is ambushed by the men hired to eliminate him. After getting the homeless woman and her child to safety, leaves Spider-Man open to attack from the Praetorian Guard. When their leader tries to shoot the wall crawler in the head, Spider-Man bends the barrel of his gun. Unfortunately, the warrior is not without other weapons. He grabs Spider-Man and jolts him into unconsciousness with an electrified gauntlet. With Spider-Man,
The shocker is screaming, crying, and throwing up and sliding down a wall right now.
Whoa! Yeah. The shocker. With Spider-Man defeated, he is presented to Richard Fisk and the Hobgoblin. The latter pulls out one of his razor bats, having looked forward to this for quite some time. Talking about carving the turkey.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts on this? This issue in a busy cover?
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this one. What
So
do we
many
think of the
moving parts.
Praetorian Guard? What do we think of those guys?
The 90s made given
Clowns.
human
They're
form.
clowns.
These all look like dime store cable guys. Cable ripoffs.
And again, it's the 90s, so it's like, oh, what do you give us a somewhat cool sounding name and a big gun? Yes.
Yeah, and shoulder pads.
Yes.
Pouches.
Yeah, and ponytails.
Well, you really wanted to complete the set, man. You give them some badly drawn feet.
Yep. Tiny little
Philip.
pig feet.
Oh, don't act like you're above it, Lilith. I'll just say 2 words. Bendis Superman.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
All right, let's get to the next one. Enough slander.
Nonsense, Phil.
Web of
This is
Spider-Man.
a great cover in part 5. I love
Oh,
this
yeah,
cover.
with Spider-Man and the Rose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Web of Spider-Man 88, May 1992. The Kingmakers. Richard Fisk, the Hobgoblin, and the Praetorian Guard have brought Spider-Man into the ruins of the Kingpin's former office. Seafall the Kingpin and Daredevil Kids by our good friend D.D. Chichester. Friend of the show. The leader of the Praetorians is concerned for their safety, fearing that Hydra may come back. The Hobgoblin mirrors this concern, saying they should kill Spider-Man and be done with it. Suddenly, Spider-Man's spider sense begins. There's every issue. The Spider-Man spider sense begins going off, just as a military-grade gunship flies up the Fisk Tower. When it begins opening fire, the leader of the Praetorian Guard pushes Richard to the ground, but not before he's clipped on the brow with a bullet. As the Hobgoblin battles the soldiers coming out of the chopper, get to the chopper. The guard ushers Richard out of the office. At that moment, Spider-Man breaks free from his bonds and tries to escape when he is hit from behind by the stock of one of the barrels. And yes, I'm going there again.
Trying to donkey punch me now, bitch.
Only Mary Jane's allowed to do that, first of all.
Well, up in the Catskill Mountains, Mary Jane and Aunt May continue their time away from the city.
They should have used an alias like Kelly Puckett, obviously.
Yeah.
Marjorie Red. When Mary Jane leaves yet another message for her husband Peter, she tries to hide her concern for Peter's safety. He's probably out busting heads, you know this. While at the Daily Bugle, Joe Robertson calls a meeting to talk about the mistake that was made in a recent byline in the Daily Bugle. As it turns out, the recent crime photos were taken by Nick Katzenberg and not Peter Parker. Joe is furious at Nick for not saying something sooner. particularly since Peter's life was threatened as a result. That's when Sergeant Bloom of the NYPD comes looking for Peter Parker. When Robertson tells Bloom about the misprint in the paper, Nick Katzenberg decides it's time to get out of there. Time to get out of there.
Make like a tree and scram.
Make like a tree and get out of here.
This is not the bus. Gets on a bus to San Francisco like everybody else.
No sooner is Katzenberg gone does Bloom get a message and has to go. Message. He got beeped, kids. The 1992 state-of-the-art beeper.
Yeah, he had a pager.
I wonder if he had the little codes.
Back at Richard Fisk's penthouse apartment, his fiancée Rebecca treats the wound on his head. When she asks how he got it, he tells her it was business.
Want to know how he got these scars?
Why so serious? That's when the Praetorian Guard asked to speak to with him in private. With the move of his home going along smoothly, Fisk states that he no longer needs their services. He explains that after the death of his friends and siding with his father, he just wants to leave and live a normal life with Rebecca.
It always comes down to a lady, don't it?
Where are they going? Sunnybrook Farm? Haha, classy kids. Meanwhile, Spider-Man wakes up to discover that the men who attacked Fisk Tower were the Rose's men. The Rose explains that he does not wish innocent people like the Parkers endangered by Richard Fisk. He reveals that he knows that Mary Jane and Aunt May are staying in the mountains and that Fisk knows this as well. This makes Spider-Man furious, and he demands to do more than just talk about what to do next. While back at Fisk's apartment, gunmen attack him as they see him as the next in line for the Kingpin's criminal empire. As the guards protect Richard, he watches in horror as one of the gunmen head for the bedroom where Rebecca is packing their things. While in the mountains, Mary Jane notices that the phone line is suddenly dead. Deciding to go into town with Aunt May, they discover that the car won't start. Suspecting trouble, Mary Jane suggests that they go back into the house. That's when a man appears, telling her to give up as they have the building surrounded. As Mary Jane and May rush inside to find cover, she wonders where Peter could be. Not far away, Spider-Man hitches a ride on the Rose's helicopter up into the mountains. Beto, boss, he's not even holding. He's holding on to the outside. Not even just with two hands, one-handed. I mean, he's all
cold. What cold?
I'm just thinking the strain on one arm, man.
I wonder if my wrist is ready for that. I don't think it was.
I don't know. Maybe he's got some pretty strong wrists, Lilith Hellfire.
I wonder if my wrist is ready. You know what? The thwip motion, I would assume.
Yeah. More strength in that one arm.
Those two fingers. Hey-oh.
Don't get fingered.
Full circle, super connected, if you will.
Yes.
Somebody was trying to sneak it in.
He doesn't like the idea of working with the Rose when his family's lives are at risk. Back at Fisk's, Richard manages to save Rebecca from the gunman, breaking his arm in the process. Assuring Rebecca that this man is insane, he has her taken out of the room. When he learns of the bounty on his head, Richard insists that nobody threatens his family and stabs the man to death. Fisk then orders the body disposed of and decides it is time for changes to be made in the city. At that moment, Spider-Man and the Rose's men arrive just in time to save Mary Jane and Aunt May from Fisk's assassins.
Some would say they built that city.
on rock and roll.
On Big Macs and shrimp rolls, maybe.
Later, at a dockside warehouse, Spider-Man meets with the Rose, who asks for Spider-Man's help taking down Richard Fisk as he has gone insane. Unsure he can trust the Rose, Spider-Man expresses these misgivings when suddenly they are ambushed by Fisk and his Praetorian Guard. Spider-Man is stunned with an energy blast, and the rest of the guards are quickly taken down. When confronted with Richard Fisk, the Rose attempts to appeal to him through their friendship. Fisk replies by fatally shooting the Rose. By the time
Ain't no friends in this game.
No money, no problems. By the time Spider-Man revives, Fisk and his men are gone. Seeing that the Rose is dying, Spider-Man removes his mask and recognizes him as Sergeant Bloom.
Oh.
Remember the guy you haven't seen before this storyline, kids?
Yeah, who appeared twice?
As it turns out, Bloom wanted to shut down the Kingpin after he killed his brother. As Bloom dies, Spider-Man tosses aside the rose mask and tries to keep him talking, but it is too late. Someone approaches Spider-Man from behind and, putting on the rose mask, assures the wall crawler that Richard Fisk is going to pay for Bloom's death. Oh, this gets so complicated, kids. Stay tuned for December.
It gets even more complicated from here.
Oh, yeah. While back at Richard Fisk...
It's almost like someone accidentally wrote themselves into a corner.
Oh my. While back at Richard Fisk's apartment, Richard has decided to completely embrace his legacy as the next kingpin of crime. He goes so far as shaving his own head. He asks his minions to see if anyone can locate his father so he can show him how things have changed. Oh, okay. Although Bloom dies here, he's later resurrected years later as, as seen in Clone Conspiracy #2.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's why you blacked it out, babes.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Oh, that was Dan Slott's that whole thing. It's like, oh, we'll just clone every Spider-Man villain who's ever died, and we'll keep whoever we want to keep.
Yeah.
That's what I thought happened. I thought that was the whole Ned Leeds thing, but they brought back the original Ned Leeds. You know, he's like, oh, Goblin formula.
That's like the Spider-Man Krakoa. It's just a bunch of clones of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's ever dead. It's all just clones everywhere. Yeah. This issue, though, I think we should have a moment of silence for Richard Fisk's neck, because you don't see it after the... It's gone in this issue. It's gone. It's just all chin there.
Let me in that warehouse, or I'll huff and I'll puff. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Thoughts, Lilith?
Bananas, bro. Bananas.
B-A-N.
Exactly.
Okay, don't spoil it, because I don't know if certain people, probably Ray, don't know who the new Rose is who picked up the mask in this issue. Do you two know who picked up the mask?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is that complicated? Well, like I said, we'll get there in December, Lilith. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. The whole island thing? Yeah.
Oh, what's his face? Spawn Light? Yeah.
Spawn Light. Yeah,
Yes.
we get the introduction of Spawn Light in that story.
Oh, what's that dude's name?
Night Watch.
Night Watch, yes.
Yeah.
Not Night Watchman, kids. Night Watch.
Yep.
Some would say it was a warlogog.
See Unlimited Justice for that joke, kids.
Same thing. You just can't call it that. That's
Grant,
all.
Grant Morrison, our cover bridge of some Grant Morrison issues. All right. Should we wrap this whole damn thing up?
In a bow, not.
Not till December, kid. All right. It all ends in Web of Spider-Man 89 from June 1992. A rose by any other name.
A villain would smell just the same.
Having completely embraced his legacy as the kingpin of crime, Richard Fisk sends out a call to the other crime bosses in the city. So yes, now truly the prophecy has been fulfilled. The kingpin is finally a dick.
Ew.
However, only a small number of low-ranking members show up as the rival bosses think Richard is a joke. This suits Richard just fine, as he wanted to send the message to the other mobs. Exiting the room, he orders his Praetorian Guard to kill them all and send body parts back to their employers. Hopping in... Whoa! What will send the biggest message?
Sausage.
Tricky Dicky.
Hopping into his limo, Fisk is asked by the leader of the Praetorian Guard about the hit on Peter Parker. Through his sources at the Daily Bugle, Richard has learned the damaging photo in that appeared in the Bugle was actually taken by Nick Katzenberg, and Parker's name ended up on the byline due to a printing error. Richard calls off the hit on Parker and orders Katzenberg brought to him. Meanwhile, Peter and his wife Mary Jane have been hiding out in a hotel. Wonder how they've been passing the time, kids.
Rumpy pumpy.
Oh, Philip.
What? I didn't say it.
Rumpy pumpy.
Mary Jane thinks the danger to Peter and their family is over and suggests that they get back to their normal lives. However, Peter is not convinced. When room service arrives with the current edition of the Daily Bugle, seeing the retraction of Peter's photo credit is enough to satisfy Mary Jane. Unfortunately, Peter still wants to bring Richard Fisk to justice for killing the Rose and goes out as Spider-Man to search for him. Meanwhile, at his Brooklyn hideout, Blood Rose practices his shooting abilities. After shooting all the targets, Blood Rose feels he is ready to go after Richard Fisk. Nothing like a training montage.
You gotta round the story out, Phil.
Well, I know. That's what I call it, a montage. While on the Upper West Side, Richard presents a wedding ring to his fiancée, Rebecca. Their dinner celebrations are cut short when Fisk is called away on business. At that moment, Spider-Man is following his only lead, the Triad Brothers.
Try-hard bros in the house.
Who tried to cash in on the hit on Peter Parker. Since they are employed by Death Watch, the wall crawler goes to the office building in Greenwich Village that Death Watch was operating out of. However, he finds the office building in ruins. That's when he is ambushed by the Hobgoblin, who explains that Death Watch and his crew recently ran afoul of the Ghost Rider. However, the villain explains that he hasn't come to fight Spider-Man, but get his help taking down Richard Fisk, as Fisk betrayed him. Spider-Man agrees since the Hobgoblin knows where to find Fisk, but he will keep a close eye on his foe. By this time, Richard Fisk and his men arrive at the Brooklyn warehouse where the Rose used to operate. A letter claiming to be from the Rose is what brought Fisk here. When his guards ask to go in first, Fisk tells them to wait outside as this is a private matter. Inside, some of Richard's men disobey his orders and are mowed down by Blood Rose. Blood Rose accuses Richard for becoming the very thing that they were trying to stop. However, Richard is willing to listen to reason and the pair come to blows. While at Nick Katzenberg's apartment, the sleazy photographer is frantically packing his bags in order to get out of town. As he does so, he wonders why it couldn't be Peter Parker instead of him. Back in Brooklyn, Richard Fisk's guards are ambushed by Spider-Man and the Hobgoblin. They make quick work of the guards and go inside where the one-on-one battle between Richard and Blood Rose continues. While Spider-Man is still preoccupied, Hobgoblin gets ahead and tries to throw one of his razor bats at Richard Fisk. Unfortunately, Spider-Man leaps in and stops him. He then leaps between Blood Rose and Fisk and demands to know what is going on. However, neither men are willing to talk. Angering Spider-Man, his spider sense buzzing, the wall crawler dodges one of Hobgoblin's weapons while Spider-Man is busy fighting off the Hobgoblin. Richard Fisk tries to make a run for it. This leaves him open for an attack by Blood Rose, who shoots him in the back. The shot causes Richard to smash through a window and fall into the waters outside the warehouse. Horrified, Spider-Man leaps into the water to recover Richard's body, but finds no trace of him. Returning to the warehouse, both Blood Rose and Hobgoblin have fled. Finding a rose on the ground, Spider-Man picks it up and crushes it in his hand, vowing to one day bring Blood Rose to justice. Shot and fall into the river. Nobody in comics survives that.
No, never.
Maybe if it was like the first time it'd be believable, but like the 1000th time, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So without spoiling it, I mean, we all know who Blood Rose is. Do you think that was always the original plan, or was
no?
You think Howard Mackey or someone was like, let's bring back Ned Leeds, let's make it Ned Leeds, and someone was like, no, you're not bringing back Ned Leeds. It's like, damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know who they thought it could have been.
I mean, you would think that from this last conversation, they were probably either playing it on Alfredo or Ned Leeds. So.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not either one of them, kids.
And this is why you should consult with editorial before just doing what the hell you want to do.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not one for suits, kids, but I think an editor, a finely tuned editor, can give you appropriate notes.
Especially for something like this, where there's so many moving parts going on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and again, you do something like bring back Ned Leeds, that's going to affect all the books. Remember, kids, Spider-Man got 4 books going on at this point.
Right. Yeah.
The battle between Ghost Rider and Deathwatch was in Ghost Rider number 24.
Mm-hmm.
I love Hobgoblin. Oh yeah, there's a big battle here. Saw the flame guy hit the other guy. Hey, buddy. All right.
And we got our pouches in this issue because Blood Rose has a bunch of pouches on his outfit. So that was
He's just trying to fit in.
1992 in full effect. He was, yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
man. He put him on his legs, his belt, across his chest. Yeah, man.
Yeah. The only thing he was missing was shoulder pads. He didn't have any shoulder pads.
I love how the costume is like, what is that? Like a dark blue, and there's like red gloves and everything, but he still keeps that damn purple mask.
Yeah.
Branding.
Exactly.
That's right. It's
Like,
important.
honestly, in Marvel, it is all about branding, so.
Yeah.
See, kids, it was the rose, now it's the blood rose.
That's right. Blood Rose.
Because he's back for revenge.
Because it's the 90s, kids.
Extreme Rose. I like the part, too, where he had Richard and Blood Rose, and he goes, maybe I should kill you both. That part made me laugh. I forgot about that.
But what did you guys think of like these, like the last two issues? It seemed like they were almost trying to like parallel Richard Fisk and Peter Parker, because like in the penultimate issue, Take a Drink, Future Lilith, I mean, both their women are in danger. It seems like at the same exact time, and it's like, how do they react to that? And
yeah,
they tried and failed.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's one of those classical. Peter Parker will rise above this. Richard Fisk's going down,
yeah,
down a dark path. So yeah, he went into the river, and then the fiance is like, "What? No ring? No wedding? What?"
I ain't saying
Well, at
she's
least-
a gold digger.
Well, at least now I don't have to dye my hair with that peroxide anymore.
Oh! I don't know what he was going for, either his mother or Rogue from the X-Men.
I mean, either choice is good.
Ew. I don't know. Ask Apocalypse from the animated series. Always go with the animated Rogue.
Yeah, that's
Oh
true.
yeah.
I love that. All right. So, any other thoughts on these children?
No, I want to say that it's a weird story, not necessarily like top tier must read, but I think it's a fun story.
Oh, it's a pure 90s story.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I thought the Praetorian Guard were kind of lame. I would have liked to seen a different, like, kind of low tier villain team, like not the Wrecking Crew, but like somebody below that, like the Seekers or something like that.
Yes, the Seekers.
Yeah, somebody like that. You know what I mean? Some low level super villain trio or something. These Praetorian Guard guys were super vanilla.
I was gonna say too early for the jury. Are there with the jury?
Oh,
show up yet?
Oh, I don't remember.
Speaking of armored cronies, yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I think that was later. A couple.
It just seemed like they were just like, oh yeah, bring me random 90s mercenaries.
Yeah, with big guns and shoulder pads and ponytails.
Because like they mentioned that leader. I mean, we didn't get the leader's name. We didn't get anyone's like actual name, right? Or
yeah,
code name. It was just Praetorian Guard as a whole.
Yeah. Praetorian Guard 1, Praetorian Guard 2.
I don't think they even gave themselves numbers. It was just like, oh, hey, you. What it seemed like.
Use guys, that was their name.
You with the ponytail. Which one?
Mullets and ponytails, yeah. I told you, man. Look at that first issue, man. What Peter Parker was rocking almost a mullet there, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was letting it grow out.
He's a hippie. What do you want from him?
I was like, who is this, Peter Parker or Mark Mullet?
I was thinking about Nick Katzenberg. Who would we have play him if he were to be in a future MCU Spider-Man film?
Okay. Tell me if this would work. Danny DeVito.
No. He's a precious jewel that must be protected. No.
If he was a little bit younger, Wayne Knight from Seinfeld.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's acting anymore, though, is he? I haven't seen him in a while.
It's not that he's not acting. It's just nobody called him.
But yes, Wayne Knight would be good. I can't think of anyone else. Yeah, that might be a good choice, Justin. Who wants to play Sleazy? I mean, if that whole thing over at DC doesn't work, you get Colin Farrell over here in makeup again.
Oh yeah.
Or Richard Kind, to take your pick.
I would say Kevin Spacey, but he's person non grata.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's getting any work again.
That's too real life for people.
Well, yeah, that's too sleazy for Katzenberg.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting any more work for a while.
Oh, I know. I don't know if you guys know who this is, but Michael Emerson from Lost, and he played that guy in Arrow, like season 5 or whatever. The guy that got taken out by the other villains because he lost his son. But it was all set up.
I think I remember that one.
Yeah, and Person of Interest, of course, but nobody else seemed to have watched that show, so don't bring it up. But yeah, Benjamin Linus from Lost.
Okay. Yeah,
because he's got a weasel face, like just.
Yeah.
I mean that in the best way. He's a very, very good character actor.
Yeah.
Just a face you love to hate. You know, it's the John Krasinski, you know, as Reed Richards. You know what I mean? Yeah, that punchable face.
Exactly.
How dare you? Who are you? Dwight Schrute? Come on.
Exactly. You made me watch all of The Office, so like hopefully maybe one day you'll watch all of Supernatural. I feel like that's a fair trade.
I'm gonna.
Okay, that or How I Met Your Mother. The whole thing, can't skip the last season. Take your pick.
Okay, maybe How I Met Your Mother. I was gonna say Supernatural. Do you want?
It's only 15 seasons, Phil.
I'm already middle-aged. Do you want me to spend the rest of my life watching Supernatural?
It's not like I said The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah. And there are only 23 episodes this season.
Yeah.
Well, most of them, yeah. Some of them have 18.
Only 1,000 episodes.
There was like 2 writer strikes, so like, you know, over the 15 years. And then there's webisodes, and then there's the anime series you have to watch too. So that's like 16 seasons.
Why don't I just watch every Doctor Who ever too and get it over with?
Yeah.
Because you can't find them. You know, like seasons 1 through 8 were like lost, taped over at the BBC.
There's a bunch that are wiped out. They're slowly animating them all though, so there's still hope.
Did I see some of those are coming somewhere? Was it Disney Plus or was it some?
Yeah, Disney does have a deal with Doctor Who now. Yeah,
I'm excited about this.
Like, what does BBC America have now? Like, god damn it, you took everything from them.
I think it's just racing show, that car show, and yeah.
Do they still have that talk show? What's that guy's name?
Graham Norton.
Yeah.
I think
they're always gonna have that because that's a regular BBC special.
That's a mainstay.
Yeah, I never watched Doctor Who, so maybe I should watch some of the newer.
No. Supernatural first. So Supernatural is basically American Doctor Who, just to be honest.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe for Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Okay.
He's only in season 1, babes, and then he comes back for like one episode in like season 13 or 14.
Well, shut up, Lil. They hooked me on the first season. Maybe I want to watch more.
No, the first season's my favorite season next to season 5. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get out of here. I have another show.
Come on, Patriots, make Phil watch Supernatural. Make him suffer.
That's right. Yes.
Oh, I'll find
That'll
something.
Be 2023. Yeah.
I'll find you something to watch for Salty and Petty, Lil Hellfire.
I mean, we're going back to our childhood, so all our stuff is good. We got like Knight Rider, the original, and 2008. We got some Quantum Leap.
Seinfeld, of course. South Park, of course. Oh my god. Oh, do we cover a
couple of Friends debates? You know.
Yes. Oh, we're talking about our childhood. Should we cover like the A-Team?
You know, I loved the A-Team as a kid. I love Mr. T.
Yes.
So I'm down for that, and we can talk about that tragedy of a movie.
I love it when a plan comes together. Oh yeah, we said we're covering all the cartoons of my childhood too. Transformers, G.I. Joe.
He's gonna have to watch some Jim and the Holograms. So sorry.
Masters of the Universe. Oh yeah.
Thundercats.
Oh yeah.
G.I. Joe. All of it. Yes.
Love
All
it.
the cash grabs.
That's right.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are the worst offender of all.
I don't know, man. Back in its heyday, Masters of the Universe and Transformers were pretty cash grabbing.
Yeah.
If you know the history, trust me, they ain't got nothing on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right, kids, get out of here. I have another show to do. All right, so
Yeah, it's called Sleep.
no, it's called the Sector 2814, the Green Lantern Podcast. All right, kids. So, as I said, next week we will be covering, Spirits of Venom, Web of Spider-Man 95 and 96, and Spirits of Vengeance 5 and 6. And then in 2 weeks, Ray and Dave will be back for the Sausage Fest as we cover more
The untrustworthy babysitters.
more Ben Rally, Spider-Man 70 and 71, Sensational Spider-Man 7, and Amazing Spider-Man 414. And then in 3 weeks, that's when we'll reveal the Blood Rose when we cover Web of Spider-Man 97 through 100 and get you that spider armor.
And the introduction of Spawn Light.
Yes.
When you want to be Todd McFarlane so bad, but you already fired him.
Trying to get on that popularity. All right. Okay. And in 1 month, we're going to cover Web of Spider-Man 113 and through 116, the final fate of Lance Bannon. And who is Facade? A mystery that will never be solved.
Banyan.
No one will ever find out who Facade is. When I was with Ray, he got an interview with Howard Mackey and Terry Cavanaugh. I asked Terry Cavanaugh, I said, who is Facade? He's like, I can't remember.
Lost to the annals of time.
Yeah.
More like anals. Anyway, all right. Send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Ultimate Spider-Cast on Facebook, on Twitter. Please join our Facebook fan group, Web of Spider-Man. We are at 3.9. Push us over to get us to 4,000, kids.
The push to 4K. Let's go.
Yes, get us some 4K, kids. And also, yes, follow all the social medias for all the updates for all our shows and the new stuff coming in 2023, like Salty and Petty, Marvel Tales, all of it. Follow all the social medias. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Everything we do gets a video there. So smash that subscribe button. Be one of the lucky few who sees all our content. Where's my smash it button? There's...
Smash it.
And of course, the Patreon. Once again, this is a labor of love. Paying for this out of our own pocket. Every little bit helps, with $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews like the monthly Chichester Chats.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And I'm almost free superhero movie brackets. The series finale coming soon.
And don't ever ask him again.
That's right. Damn it, then. So subscribe now. Catch up on all the previous episodes before we crown the wiener. And
it's wintering time.
Join the Patreon elite, like our friend Justin here. Like
Join
Ray,
me in the elite.
Like Justin, Ray, and Russell. And Justin, did you hear this? As a patron, anyone who's a patron gets the vote on what we talk about on the Patreon in 2023.
Yes.
Nah, he's got the list going already. I bet.
Oh, I do. I'm patiently waiting.
You know what? He's gonna listen. You know what? He's gonna make a list. He's gonna listen to Salty and Petty and go, son of a bitch, they already talked about it.
They already picked it all. I have to start over on the new list.
All right, kids. So yes, subscribe to the Patreon, pick yourself up some Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch, or just rain random money on us on the Cash App link in the show notes.
Make it rain. Find
it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. All right, Lilith Hellfire. Where are the few places people can talk to you anymore?
Well, for right now, you can find me on TikTok at Lilith Hellfire69, making all of the comments and maybe just a little bit of content. You're going to have to come find out for confirmation. I can neither confirm nor deny on grounds it might incriminate me. And I'm working on a Tumblr because Tumblr's back because Twitter's dead. As soon as it's up, I'll let you guys know.
Either do the 6 or do the 9.
They did the 6 this time, but they did the 6.
Exactly.
Let me get a rat on your alligator back, bro.
Where's my favorite area?
Somebody's muffin's getting buttered. That ain't my business. It's all rape and murder all tell you that.
All right, Justin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was great fun.
And I heard you do a show or two with a wild animal. So what shows are those?
Gamma Charge, the strongest Hulk podcast there is, where we talk about all things Hulk and She-Hulk related. And Stakes and Staples, our newest project, which is a vampire comic book podcast. Where we talk about vampire comics and movies in every episode. And Predator and Prey, which we do with our good friend Ray, where we talk about all Predator stuff. A Yoja podcast.
I'm a sucker for a guy with a powerful rod.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I will be joining Phil on We Are the Night, the Batman podcast, very soon.
Suck it, Ray.
See, we got him trading low. We Are the Night.
The.
That's right, kids. Starting this month, yes, you have every single host of We Are the Night right here.
That's right.
That's our Batman podcast.
Batman, my favorite character.
He's listening to this going, son of a bitch.
The chance is never zero, Ray. The chance is never zero.
That's right.
Low, but it's never zero, yes. All right, kids. Thank you for joining us. Again, in 1 week, Spirits of Venom. In 2 weeks, Ray will be here along with Dave. And then in 3 weeks, we will reveal who is the Blood Rose. And remember, kids, end of the year, we're going to get your Thwippy Awards. But until then, swing on back.
Thwipping my way downtown.